when people tell you that, they're satisfied with what they have, you have to know how to address that. And because if they really satisfied with what they have, something sparked their interest to send that card in. On few occasions, people think it's free, but most of the time it's something else there, and we have to uncover what that is. So when they say that, don't get discouraged with that one. It's actually pretty easy to get an opening and begin a relationship if, and I say if, you can get them talking. And just because they're satisfied with what they have now don't mean they'll stay that way. We have to realize that the prospect is saying that their existing insurance company is the best they have been able to find. Okay, and a lot of times when they get their insurance, it's normally through something they saw on the TV or something that was mailed to them in the mail. So they really didn't get anybody to underwrite that for them, and that's what we come in at. And what I always tell people is that, I'm here to look out for you and make sure that you treat it fair in regards to the programs that's out there available for you and your age, your health, and your medications that you take. Now, we may have a better product and better price and available for delivery, but the prospect is only telling us from his perspective, their perspective, why they're satisfied. They really don't know about us yet, so we have to present ourselves so that they can really see that, look, that we are probably somebody that can probably put them in a better position than what they is. And knowing the reason why the relationship is satisfactory will help us to understand, how to proceed. Now, there's 12 reasons that you're most likely when they say they like who they with. There's about 12 reasons that they probably like the vendors that they're currently using. The first one is the price, or they think they have a great deal, or they perceive some kind of value in what they have. The second one is the quality of the product, the quality of the service. Number 3, they have a special business relationship with people. Number 4, they may have a personal relationship with some people. Some people, they may have a pre-need where, it's been passed down through the family, or they may have relatives, doing insurance. Sometimes people tell me, they say, well, my sister doing that, my brother doing that, or my brother sell life insurance. And so you have to know, when those come up, you got to know how to brace for that and how to meet that. They've used the company for years, and so what we want to do is find out how long they've been with a certain insurance company. Number 6, they don't know any better. They only think that they're getting a good deal or good service. Number 7, they may feel like the pre-need or the insurance company helped them out when they really needed it, and there's a sense of loyalty. Or they may feel like it was great and friendly agents that they work with, and they kind of feel a loyalty to that. They got approved quickly. They probably got a favor. Some people say, well, I get my funeral expenses covered for $2,000 or $3,000, and so you got to know how to address that too, because we know that's, even though you may know somebody and have a hookup, somebody's going to have to share a little bit more cost than that, even if you do know anybody at a funeral home. Either they were told by others or recommended by somebody else, this is who we buy from, or they probably could be lazy, has an insurance company, they don't want to change, they ain't spending their own money, they're not the boss of the policy that they have. I know sometimes we hear, well, my mother got me some on me, my sister got a policy on me, my whatever has a policy on me. And so we have to know how to address those, because sometimes they really don't have no policy on them. It's just something that they're telling you, or they may perceive that someone has a policy on them, and they may not have a policy on them. Or we have to remind them that even though somebody may have a policy on you, that doesn't mean that they intend to use the proceeds to cover the funeral expenses with it. Okay? So what we have to do in those situations there, in those 12 different areas, we have to get information about the company that they're with. So we can ask questions like, what do you like most about the insurance company that you're using? What do you like? What's the worst thing that you like? If there was anything that you can change, what would it be? Okay, and then we have to show a difference too. Like we can tell them that we recently have companies that provide better programs and benefits than before that go beyond the coverage that they have, and that if they give us a chance, we can demonstrate that to them. We can issue a challenge. You can tell them that that they owe it to themselves to kind of to see if maybe you can put them in a better situation than what they're in, and also give an experienced response. You may want to tell them that that it's always good to get a comparative analysis with another company, because you don't know for sure what you have until you compare it with somebody else. Okay, and try to get them to bring the policy out. That way you can kind of like compare and make sure that things that they didn't know about their policy, you can uncover those things. And the 4 keys to overcoming some of the objection with this is find out how the relationship is with the present source, how they begin. How did they come to find out the insurance company that they had? And like I say, most of the time it's through off the TV or stuff they get in the mail. And and you can also ask 2 important open-end questions, like what would you change if you could about your policy that you have now? It would probably be the premium is what most people would want. They probably will want more coverage than they have. So that's pretty much, in a nutshell, some of the things that come to mind when we meet people that already have coverage and they say they're satisfied with what they already have. The bottom line is that if they were so satisfied with what they had, when they got that card in the mail, they would have ignored that. So when they sent that card in, that's a cry for help in some area. And so we have to be able to. Now, some things are not replaceable. Sometimes people may have a policy that health is not good, they're on oxygen, and then they have a policy that it was a graded policy when they first got it. They don't have it over 2 years. So something like that may not be replaceable because they've already had over 2 years. They got health issues. So the only thing you can do in that situation is, just let them know they don't have enough based on what they need or what they want to do. If they want to have a funeral and they only got $5,000 worth of coverage and they really adamant about having a funeral, then $5,000 is not going to cover no funeral. So maybe we can look at getting you, say, another, $5,000 to $7,000 so that you have enough. We can concentrate on that, but that particular policy that they have, we wouldn't be able to put them in a better position than that they are because they're going to be in a graded situation. They've already had that policy over 2 years anyway, so it's not contestable. So some things are not replaceable, some things are. So we can get around that objection when people tell us that. And you have to anticipate that you may get that and be ready for it, in case they tell you they got coverage and now they have enough and sometimes they don't know what enough is. When they say, well, you have enough, do you know how much enough is? Well, what do you have? And then sometimes, they may be willing to share that with you, and then that way you can kind of like see if you can help them out. So that's pretty much all I have when it comes down to this subject right here. Because it is something that we encounter, every day, if not throughout the week. You'll have people mailing these cards in saying that they have enough and they satisfied with what they have. But the bottom line is, there's something underneath that we have to be willing to uncover and not just say, okay, well, have a great day, and don't know how to address that objective. So with all that said, that's pretty much all I have.